And now back to the How To.
Hello and welcome back to the How To Show. For this segment, Frannie is going to show us how to prepare for unexpected guests. So without further ado.
All right, thank you, Angie. So you're out shopping for those last minute gifts, and before you know it, you see someone you run into someone you haven't seen for a while, and before you know it, you have last minute guests coming. So I have some ideas to take care of those last minute guests. Easy, no cooking, wonderful, and it's called a charcuterie platter. Have you heard of those lately? They're very trendy and in the news, and charcuterie, or in French, charcuterie, is basically smoked meats. That's what it means.
So when you go to the store, what do you look for?
So I got a variety pack of smoked meat products, and this one is labeled antipasto. Basically, in the charcuterie used to refer to mostly pork products. That is plastic ripping, people. That's all that is. So when you look for charcuterie, basically it's going to be your prosciutto, your salami, your brociola, and to make it interesting, I have a board, a simple cutting board, and all I'm going to do is take the meat, and instead of just laying it flat on your board, you just give it a little twist or a little roll up. This one I'll probably just pile in little piles like that. This is a peppered salami. I would fold it like this. Fold the peppered salami. And charcuterie goes back to before there was refrigeration. This was a way to preserve meats. Now people do charcuterie for the lovely flavor that comes from the processed meats. And also prosciutto.
Oh, can I say something about the salami?
Yes, please do.
Do you know, I was preparing for a bacon feed, and so I was trying all these different things, and what I ended up doing with salami was I took it and layered it all on this plate on paper towels, popped it in my microwave oven for 2 minutes, and it cooked all of the fat out of it, and it made them into like salami crisps, chips.
Oh, that sounds better than kale chips, doesn't it?
Yes, always.
Well, you know, last minute guests don't have to be anything stressful. One quick trip to the grocery store, you can get all of these items. And all I'm doing is just arranging them on the cutting board. Now, if you wanted to be really fancy, you could do it on a tiered cake plate. That would be super pretty. If you have your holiday silver already shined up, then you'd be ready to go. You wouldn't have any worry about that.
Would that be Uncle Al silver?
Yeah. Well, some of the silver I have is actually from wedding gifts and things like that. Oh. It isn't all from dubious sources. So to make the platter even more interesting and give it to variety, I would also include some cheeses in this charcuterie platter. And when you are picking out your meats for your platter, you have to consider the saltiness of the meat and the type of things that you're serving. So with salami, salami goes really well with pickled items. So I have some cornichon here, which are just right out of a jar. That's just a sour, tiny little pickle. The prosciutto goes really nicely with sweet things. So you may have been given some pepper jelly for Christmas and you wonder, what do I do with that? Serve it with the prosciutto. It'll be very nice, very lovely. The other meat that I have here is, I believe that is called, let me just check to make sure that I'm right. It is called the dry copa.
So let me ask you this. So you have like little crackers and then you put like the little hot pepper jelly on and then put the prosciutto on.
That's right.
On the top of it.
So with the coppa, I would serve maybe a little mustard. This is a blackberry mustard. It's a whole grain blackberry mustard. And I would also put in something salty. So some...
Frannie.
A last minute guest has
We
arrived.
have a last minute guest. Come over, Shari. Oh my gosh, how unexpected, I guess.
The weather wasn't so bad.
Oh, come on.
So also on my platter, this is just the cheese that you get in that little foil packet, and it happens to fit very nicely inside this ramekin. So I'm just going to put it down into my ramekin. And this is a very nice, I'm going to use a little napkin here to degunge just a little bit. A nice little spreadable cheese to give your platter a little variety. I would add some cheeses to your smoked platters. I have some cheddar that I just happen to have hanging out in the refrigerator. Really, last minute guests don't have to be stressful with a well-stocked pantry.
Right.
And also some dried cherries for the little bit of a sweetness here. And then I'm just going to sprinkle in some nuts, some nice salty nuts for a nice salty bite. And then I would always include some grapes onto my platter. Just to give it some interest and some height. And so doesn't that look very appetizing? And what did it take me? It took me about 6 minutes to
Not
put it
very
together.
long at all.
And really
No.
with a very quick trip to the grocery store, you could have all of these things in your grocery bag and you'd be home.
And
Done. No stress, no cooking. And who wouldn't love to, oh, and I'd also put out some crackers, of course. And you could also use a baguette, that would be delicious, thinly sliced, toasted baguette. But since I was in a hurry and I didn't want to cook, I'm just going to put out a few crackers.
Right.
And so that's your charcuterie platter with some additions of cheese and some fruit.
So, well,
So
here
with our unexpected guest, Shari, it's so nice to see you, dear.
to see you too.
I'm so glad you're here.
Shari has joined us. Shari was one of our very first shows. She was a guest on our show
I'm
in
going to trade
March.
places with you.
Okay, she was a guest on our show in March, and we've been trying to get her back ever since then. And unfortunately, she works, and so she is not available a lot. But she did come back to say goodbye to all of us. So, for this wonderful surprise, I think you are going to be making us a drink.
That's right.
Oh my God!
We're going,
I came to the right show.
so I have what's called a French 75. It's a really fun holiday cocktail that I think that you'll enjoy, and it's very simple to prepare. What I have here is a 1 ounce measuring shot glass, and I'm going to make a cocktail for 2. All right.
Okay,
so
now.
For 2, I'm going to put
share
in
it with us?
I don't know.
into a cocktail shaker filled with ice. I'm going to put in 1 ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and you girls are lucky. This is my Meyer lemon from my
you have a
Meyer
tree?
lemon tree. Yes. And we're going to put in 1 ounce of an orange flavored liqueur. Now the traditional recipe for a French 75 is with Cointreau. But I had Grand Marnier hanging out in the cupboard, so that's what I'm going to use. It's a nice orange flavored liqueur. And
Years
then-
ago, I knew someone that had it over pancakes.
Oh.
Those were the years.
I wonder who that was.
I'm also going to put in 2 ounces of gin, and that's because it's for 2 cocktails.
Oh my gosh. And we're supposed to drive home from here?
It gets better.
Oh,
Okay.
we're not done yet.
Now, I'm going to shake this up, so it's going to make an awful racket just for a moment. You want to really shake.
Well, you can just...
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake.
Here we go. I know that isn't so great for the TV audience, but now we're going to pour these. Ideally, these would be chilled champagne flutes. We'll say that's good. Now, maybe we should review a proper technique for opening sparkling wine. The traditional recipe for a French 75 has champagne. However, in my refrigerator, most of the time I have hanging out Prosecco. It's affordable, you can afford it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the metal cage off of my champagne bottle. And the I'm going to hold the cork. You actually have hats on! with a towel, and I'm going to move the bottle. That's how you open it. Is that you hold the cork with the towel and you turn the bottle, okay?
Ah,
Ta-da!
nothing to it.
And then you just float some champagne on the top of your glass. And here you have a French 75. Now, you know why they call it a French 75?
No.
Share.
What? Okay.
It was so named by World War I pilots who were in a famous bar in Paris. And they named it a French 75 because they felt that it had the same kick as a 75 millimeter field gun.
Oh.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh.
It's a cheer too.
Oh,
Cheers.
cheers. Tasha, cheers.
yes,
You can do cheers.
This is delicious, and you need an acidic drink to cut through the richness of the cheese and the meats in your charcuterie platter. And this is very celebratory, and I hope that you enjoy it.
Yes, and we're so very
this
glad
good?
to have Tasha, who was also on our very first show,
Home week.
All the way through August.
all the way through August, and then she went to teach at the,
Oh no, I've been.
or
in fact,
to read to
I
the
read
students.
everywhere. I read. Yes, today I read to first grade in Ione and then 2 preschools in Ione. That was just today.
Yay! So thank you for joining us again. We'll be back shortly with you. We're on break now.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN. Ringing the holiday.